Hi everyone, it's Emma Dyer from Equine Careers. Welcome to 2017, Happy New Year to everyone, and for some of you could be looking for a new job. So as you may have seen on our social media pages, I'm trying to launch a New Year, New Start campaign. So we hope to bring you lots of exciting video blogs introducing you to all different types of jobs within the industry. So we've been speaking to some really specialist people within the industry, and we hope to bring you some really exciting video blogs so that you'll understand a bit more about each of those jobs. It could be anything from sales, marketing, insurance, it could be working as a flying groom, it could be working as a stunt person, it could be working as a nutritionist. So there really is a lot out there, and we're doing our very best to bring you a whole variety of video blogs from those specialist people. So I know we've been listening to your requests, and I know one request which has come in is how to move from a more practical job within the equine industry into a more commercial one. So I figured that I'd better do that video myself, because actually that's what I did. So when I first left school after my A-levels, I worked as a groom, a show jumping groom, for a couple of years for Derek Ricketts. Learned an awful lot there, and then moved on to work in a hunt yard, hunting and dealing yard, which had a lot more riding in it, so that was quite fun. But then I decided that perhaps it wasn't something that I wanted to do forever. I'm quite an impatient person, so even though I'd only worked practically hands-on with horses for sort of 4 or 5 years, I'm always looking to progress. So I was quite impatient in thinking, okay, well, the hunt ban was talking about coming in, so I'd better start looking at other things to do. So I went back to college and did an HND in business studies, and that's where I learnt loads about marketing, marketing management, and all the everything else involved, economics and accounts and a bit of law and all sorts of things. And unfortunately back then, we didn't have the choice that we do now with the equine science and the sports science and the dentistry and the equine business management. They didn't do those types of courses, otherwise I would have done that. So I just did plain, straight business studies. But it's what helps me transfer from that more practical side to the more commercial side was firstly work experience, and secondly extracurricular activities, so things that you do outside of work that help you on your CV to show that you live and breathe everything to do with equine. So when I did my business studies at college, the careers people came to me and said, Emma, what do you want to do for your work experience, because we had to do 2 weeks as part of our course. And although I knew the equine industry, I didn't know it as well as I do now. And I knew Weatherby's were very, the be-all and end-all as far as administration for horse racing. And I wanted to know more about that, so I just happily said, oh, I want to go to Weatherby's, not knowing where they were based or anything like that. Anyway, so the careers people got in touch with Weatherby's, and off I went. I was driving to Northampton for 2 weeks, and I had to commute because I didn't live that locally, but I was so keen to do it, and given the opportunity, that was absolutely fine. So sort of an hour and a half in the car every day to go to Weatherby's, and it was just the best thing. I really understood how professional they were and how involved they are in so many areas. It's not just the stud book, and also they used to have like a gift shop as well back then, but it was the declarations, it was the names, it was the registrations, it was just absolutely everything. It was really eye-opening to go to such a professional establishment and really understand more about what they do. So that was very eye-opening. So the work experience was really helpful, and also as a side shoot, in my own time, I've always taught people and given riding lessons and done my BHS exams, that sort of thing. So everything I've always done has always lived and breathed equine. So I think with the teaching, you become very good at reading your audience and knowing who you're talking to, and your communication skills become very natural. You're able to adjust what you say and how you say it. And obviously when you're teaching, you're reading a situation and assessing it, and you've got to instruct and give instructions at the same time. So there's an awful lot happening and you've got to communicate very quickly. So that has always really helped as well, dealing and talking with lots of different people. So when I'd finished my college course and I'd done my work experience, then I was out in the big wide world, and the first opportunity I was given was actually starting to work as an estate agent, which I thought, well, that's quite good, because I was dealing with lovely big country houses and talking to the types of people that I had things in common with. Quite a lot of them had stables or horses or that sort of thing. And you learn everything from producing the brochure and publishing that, and writing up the details, so attention to detail, even taking the photographs yourself. It's got to be really professional. To then introducing yourself to the vendors and the potential purchasers as well, showing them around and explaining everything. You've got to have a lot of detail to hand. And then when you start to negotiate, that's quite tough going, so you've really got to stick to your guns and know what you want to achieve when you're negotiating. And then it comes down to being highly organised, because when you're seeing a sale through, things can go wrong and you've got lots of different parties to keep happy, so there's lots of people in the chain and you've got to know what's going on all the time. So all my skills were just being improved all the time, so that was a really good job. And I did that for quite a few years before I was given an opportunity to work within an equine business that produced surfaces for arenas and gallops, and that really was probably the best job that I had, that led me to then setting up Equine Careers. So I was in the office organising everything from answering the phone to producing documents for sales, and again brochures. We produced a video blog for that, or a CD promotional video for that business. We provided the surface for Your Horse Live. We sold surface to some top racing trainers, and we refurbished some gallops for the jockey club and all sorts of things. So in that job I learned absolutely tons, and I was involved at quite a high level with people within the equine industry. So my understanding of the industry just grew and grew, and I just learnt more and more, and my transferable skills just again grew and strengthened as well. So that job really was a stepping stone into where I am now. Unfortunately, the recession put pay to my job with the surfacing company. So then I had already had the idea of setting up Equine Careers, but wasn't in the position to need to do so because I had a job. But then obviously when I was made redundant, then you know, my hand was forced into doing something productive, and it was the best thing really, because then Equine Careers was born and has just grown from strength to strength. So for anyone looking to really transfer from a more practical role into a more commercial role, it is very much about, in your spare time, getting out there and doing as much as you possibly can and being involved. It might be a question of finding an equine business locally and asking if you can help in your spare time. They might have some shows that they attend throughout the year that perhaps you can help with. Just anything, just if you're involved with a local riding club, do you help organise events, or do you volunteer? Anything like that that you can put on your CV is an extracurricular activity, and will really stand you head and tail above other people who are also applying for jobs. It's how you present yourself. So yes, it's got a lot to do with not just the courses you choose to study or the jobs you try and apply for, but it's also the extracurricular activities and what things you can put down on your CV. Because it's all well and good you doing these extra online study courses and things like that, but it's being able to put all of that on paper, so that someone gives you the opportunity of actually a face-to-face interview. And again, the more you can volunteer and get out to these shows, the more you'll start to meet and greet the right sorts of people and key decision makers, who you can then start to chat to them and get to know them, and all sorts of opportunities come from there. So it is about sometimes who you know, not what you know. So I hope that's a really good introduction to our first video blog, and by all means comment below with any questions, and I can maybe do a follow-up video on questions and answers that have perhaps come from this. So there we go, our first video blog, and fingers crossed that's been helpful, and thanks everyone for watching, and keep an eye open for all the other exciting blogs to come as well. Alright, take care, bye.